The dawn of a new era. Dharma Civilization Foundation, unfolding Dharma for the well-being of the individual and the world. By promoting the understanding of India's civilization, religion, and culture through education. Education is a manifestation of the perfection already in man. Hindu Dharma, also called Sanatana Dharma, is the oldest spiritual tradition in the world. It gave rise to the wisdom traditions indigenous to India: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. The living devotees and practitioners of these faiths are inheritors of an ancient legacy.
Dharma is derived from the Sanskrit root dhri, meaning to uphold, to retain, to support, to sustain, or to nourish. It is indeed a positive principle of all-around sustainability and advancement of the individual, society, and humanity at large.
Preserving the integrity and authenticity of these Dharma traditions within the modern educational system poses unique challenges.
My name is Kalyan Viswanathan, and I am the Executive Vice President of Dharma Civilization Foundation. Looking into the nature of the study of religion itself in the Western academy, and in particular, some of the challenges with studying Hinduism, Hindu Dharma in the Western academy. Can you speak to that briefly?
Yeah, I just think of the class in Hindu studies that I took at Yale University, right? Where we never knew why the professor was teaching the class. Did he have a commitment? Did he meditate? Or was this just some religion that he wanted to make fun of, and so he taught it?
Paul Courtwright uses Freudian psychoanalytic techniques to analyze Ganesha in a highly sexualized way.
Here he writes a book on Ganesha, and in a Freudian framework, he totally misses the very essence of what Ganesha represents to millions and millions of devotees and followers of Hinduism. And basically he says that his trunk is a representation of a limp male sexual organ, and he just represents an enormous oral appetite. The grandeur, the profundity of Ganesha that inspires millions and millions across the world is totally missed out. So the lens that lends itself to this type of a distorted interpretation became an object of a tremendous inquiry in my mind, that what's wrong here?
Jeffrey Kripal's PhD thesis on Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is published as a book called Kali's Child, theorizing about his homosexual and child abusive tendencies. The book's premise was that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda had a homosexual relationship.
When you first saw the book, Kali's Child, first experienced it, reading the book, what was your reaction?
Well, I was in Oakland, actually, at the Northern California Independent Booksellers Association convention. I went there to look for new books. And I went by the University of Chicago. They said, "Oh, we've got a book on Ramakrishna." I said, "Oh, wow, that's terrific." So I opened it up and I went, "What?" And then I opened it up further and I said, "He's got to be kidding me." And then I went further and I thought, "Oh my God, this is really appalling." And then I closed it and I put it down. I thought, no one's going to buy this book. No one's going to read it because it's so absurd.
And here, Professor Jeffrey Kripal of Rice University in Houston, he writes a book called Kali's Child. And essentially, one of the theme of the book, the thrust of the book, is that Ramakrishna was, after all, not such a great spiritual person as he is made out to be, but he was a sexually repressed, a homoerotic, or a pedophile, or like abusing children. And the tragedy of it is the American Academy of Religion awards the Best Book of the Year award to this book.
A debate on Wikipedia about Ramakrishna.
But the rules governing Wikipedia are quite strict, that all material put on the website must be referenced. And what are the acceptable references? Scholarly references. References to scholarly papers in academic, peer-reviewed academic journals, and books published by scholars, university books. And Kripal's book was published by the University of Chicago, certainly a reputable academic institution, and moreover, it won a prize. So this guy could say, look, this book is published by a top university in America, and it's even won a prize, and you're saying it's garbage? How can it be? This is approved material, so we're keeping it on Wikipedia.
The California textbook controversy. Local Hindu parents are outraged when a 6th grade student comes home crying that she does not want to be a Hindu anymore, based on what she learned in school about her religion.
The girl came back from the school and said, I don't want to be Hindu. Because you must realize that as you grow up, you have two kinds of authorities in particular. One is your parental authority that you follow, and greater than parental authority these days is the authority of the teacher, school system. And if your parents say something is contradicted by the teacher, then it is teacher's authority that prevails.
A group of California parents organized themselves to make changes to the textbook. At first, the California Board of Education is open to the changes. The issue becomes controversial when Harvard professor Michael Witzel and other academics object to the parents' changes.
I found Michael Witzel and his cohorts lacking in professional integrity, something which I had not personally confronted ever before in my life of teaching. That being the issue, the critical issue that we face, that means your identity is being defined by somebody else.
Today, the Wendy Doniger affair. Hindu groups in India are outraged by the book, The Hindus, An Alternative History, written by Wendy Doniger, American Indologist and professor at University of Chicago. The book sparks protests across India.
I think of an example. There's a book by Wendy Doniger called The Hindus, An Alternate History, which describes the practices kind of exoticized, eroticized, Freudianized, but without the dharmic motor that drives all the practices, without the core beliefs. Yeah. And that's caused a huge uproar within Hindu communities, both in North America and in India, as you probably know. And a battle going on between Hindu America Foundation on one side, American Academy of Religion on another side, right? And I keep thinking there's no third voice here. There is no major group of Hindu chairs and study centers within the established academy who could offer an alternative. So the religious studies scholars are siding with Wendy Doniger.
The American Academy of Religion is one of the largest associations of scholars in the world, with over 11,000 members. Even though Hinduism is the third largest religion in the world, it does not have its own section in the American Academy of Religions.
My friend, who was also a master's student and therefore a newbie, both of us looked through the massive catalog of programs for that particular conference, and we couldn't find it. So I ran off to my professor, my guide, and said, where's the Hinduism unit? I can't find it. And she said, there isn't one.
The voice of Dharma is missing in academia. What if we, the inheritors of the great Dharma traditions, do nothing?
The message of unity, of many spiritual paths, one spiritual destination, is lost. No tradition in the world has taught that as beautifully and clearly as the Dharma traditions. Vedas, Upanishads, Gita. If that message is lost, the message on the lips of every holy man for generations and generations in India, then the world sees more religious violence. Religion is seen as a divisive force. Without that Dharma civilization voice, religion continues to splinter us.